Hey everybody, thanks for checking out my video. I am your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete, and this is the latest installment in my horror movie superlative series that I collaborate with my good buddy Carlin. We're at 1996 this week. I think you guys know the drill by now. After you watch this video, please go to Carlin's channel, link in the description, watch his video with the same name, and vote on who you thought had the better picks. We're having a lot of fun with this, and also don't forget to leave your comments down below on what your picks are. We love reading those. And if you haven't already, I really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button on both of our channels. Carl puts out a lot of great content, a few videos a week, and I have my Nails in a Coffin series out every Friday, covering a lot of fun movies for the holidays, and I've covered big franchises like Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Friday the 13th, and I'll have some links up here for you all to check it out. And again, remember, these are our picks, and yours may and probably will be very different than ours, so we love reading them down in the comments down below. And, well, let's get down to business and pick out some horror movie superlatives for 1996. My selection for the most amazing horror movie to come out in 1996 was From Dusk Till Dawn. One of the best vampire flicks to come out in the 90s, and I just think this movie has a really great cast. You got George Clooney, Harvey Keitel, Juliette Lewis, Quentin Tarantino, Danny Trejo, Selma Hayek, Tom Savini, Fred Williamson, and even an appearance from Cheech Marin. I love the looks of the vampires, the way they transform in this movie. I think it's really interesting. And the snake dance with Selma Hayek is just all kinds of awesome. I think the pacing of this movie is excellent. The way it moves from segment to segment is really great stuff. It doesn't stay in one location for too long, and just the way it moves in the pacing, I think it flows extremely well. And I also love how all the characters are unique with different traits, and you get some real character development throughout the film as well. Seth Gecko, George Clooney, just oozes coolness and sex appeal throughout this entire film. Even though he's a vicious murderer, you just can't help but like this guy because of, he's so charismatic. His brother is disgusting, and I was happy when he died because he's just a gross human being, and you're not supposed to like that scumbag. But this is one of the top tier vampire movies out there, and one of the best by far to come out in the 90s. From Dusk Till Dawn is a great, fun movie, and it was an easy selection for me to pick for my most amazing. For my so bad is good pick, I went with The Dentist. This movie just makes your mouth hurt, and I can see why some people would say it's bad for that reason. I also could have put this movie in WTF as well, because it is a silly movie with some over-the-top acting, and some of the scenes almost feel too comical, like this is a horror comedy, but the balance of horror and comedy really isn't that great. Corbin Burnson's acting can be a little wonky at times. However, the thing I like about this movie is that it's scary, especially if you have dentophobia. Some of the scenes where Dr. Feinstein is operating are downright painful to watch when he's drilling in teeth. It just really makes your mouth hurt. This movie was written by Stuart Gordon and directed by Brian Usna, who've worked together on fantastic films such as Reanimator and From Beyond. This could have been a better movie if they upped the camp factor. Like I said, the balance between horror and comedy really wasn't that great. But it fits a good fit for a so bad it's good flick, I think. It does have some flaws, but yeah, definitely worth checking out at least once if you like so bad it's good movies. For my most WTF film, we're going with Head of the Family. A full moon movie directed by Charles Band, and that's pretty much a good recipe for WTF right there. This movie is about the head of a family, Myron, that's a giant head on a tiny body, who can psychically control the rest of his family, made up of super strong Otis, Wheeler, who has super senses, and Ernestina, who is just super hot. The four of them are quintuplets. They pretty much kidnap people to experiment on in an effort to put Myron's brain into a normal body. So that synopsis is a whole lot of WTF right there, and that's what you get in this movie. It's a typical full moon straight to VHS film from the 90s. And it's one of those movies that keep you saying, WTF, what's going on in this movie? And it's really not bad. It is a fun flick. Just know what you're getting into. WTF movies can be a lot of fun, and Head of the Family is one of them. And I don't want to give away too much about the plot, since this is a movie I feel though you should check out. And so if you enjoy other full moon features, Charles Band directed films, like I do, I think you're going to enjoy Head of the Family, and maybe you might also pick it for your most WTF selection. For the best gore, I selected Thinner, a fun movie directed by Tom Holland, and it's based off a novel by Stephen King. Now, it's not one of the better known Stephen King film adaptations since his novel is not one of his more popular ones. In the movie, you have the main character, Billy, who's an obese attorney that killed an old gypsy woman in a car accident. He gets away scot-free from the accident since, the judge was on his side and so was the police chief. So the gypsy father's not happy and he puts a curse on him and all the people who helped Billy get away with it. The effects are really good in this movie as you start to see Billy go from a morbidly obese person start getting thinner and thinner. I mean, it's in the title. The judge in the court case was slowly turning into a lizard, and the police chief started growing tumors all over his body. So it's not the best movie ever, and it's not even one of the better Stephen King adaptations. However, the effects of Billy losing weight really does look good and realistic. The way he starts off really fat, and he's getting thinner and thinner throughout. Really great makeup effects. And yeah, so based off all the other horror flicks I've seen released in 1996, and since I already picked From Dusk Till Dawn, which could have been a best Gore as well, but I had to select Thinner for my best Gore pick. For my most unique film, I went with The Craft. Shout out to my dear friend Sable. Thank you very much. I had to include this movie on my list because I just loved it. It's a modern take on A Witch's Tale. The four main characters in this movie are all unique, and you get to see each of them go through their own specific character development. And that ties into the unique aspect of this film on how the teenage female friendship is depicted with these four girls, showing the daily struggles of what it's like to be an outcasted young woman in high school. You also had the representation of Wiccan witchcraft community that's more based in reality than had been previously shown on the screen. Each of these four girls represent an element: earth, water, fire, and air. Sarah is mother and earth. Rochelle is water because she swims. Bonnie is fire because she burns. And Nancy is air because she does levitate. And another way I found this film unique was you never really saw a movie where the woman was given power, especially in horror movies. You always see the woman running from danger or being saved by the man. And I haven't seen a movie like The Craft, certainly not in 1996. And it's more of a tale about witches. It goes much deeper than that. And I really have a deep appreciation for this film. And this is one of the films I can keep talking on and on for, trying to say why it's unique. But it has so many unique factors. It's unlike any other film about witchcraft or Wiccan or anything like that with these four young women. And I had to select it for my most unique horror film of 1996.
You girls watch out for those weirdos.
We are the weirdos, mister.
For my most overrated film, and this one is going to upset maybe a lot of people, I picked Scream. Not saying this is a bad movie, I just don't like it as much as other people. And I've really never been a fan of the Scream franchise, but I can definitely appreciate what Wes Craven did. But the movie really did nothing for me. I feel though it was so meta, it was almost borderline on a parody of other slashers. I understand that was the point, but it just didn't do it for me. I don't think Ghostface is that scary of a villain. He can't hold a candle to the likes of Freddy, Michael Myers, Jason, Leatherface, Pinhead, Leprechaun, and of course, Chucky. I rather would have seen a franchise based on Horace Pinker than Ghostface. To me, he's just not an intimidating villain, and the only reason he's not defeated easily is because in the Scream movies, it's because the people are just so stupid. Plus, his motivation really isn't that great. My mommy left because of your dad cheated on somebody. And now I want to kill you because you made my mommy leave. Yeah, it's not a poorly made movie, but I just don't enjoy it as much as all the horror fans. And I know a lot of people are not going to agree with me on the selection. I just didn't enjoy it. I'm not saying it's a horribly made movie. I don't enjoy Scream as much as other people. That's why for me, I felt it was a good fit for my most overrated selection of 1996. Wrapping things up with my most underrated selection, I went with Peter Jackson's The Frighteners. An excellent blend of horror and comedy, and I think this movie stands out from other ghost stories. Michael J. Fox is wonderful because, let's face it, he's Michael J. Fox. He has a knack with his performances that just feel magical. I think the comedy in this film still holds up, and you get to hear what struggles ghosts have during the afterlife. And I really enjoyed the way you saw how ghosts are scared of this other ghost that was going to pretty much kill them again. Jake Busey is excellent as the soul collector, and I think the movie has an interesting take on the afterlife. Not one you've really seen before. Like I said, it was directed by Peter Jackson, produced by Steven Spielberg, and that's a recipe for a really fun movie. Michael J. Fox plays a paranormal con man, which I found interesting. And he has the legit ability to see ghosts, and he uses this gift to con people out of their money using his ghost friends, until the soul collector starts killing people in town by stopping their heart. I mentioned before, it's a great mix of horror and comedy. It's not too much on one side. And I think that's why I like this movie. I think it works so well. The mix is pulled off great. It reminds me of other great horror comedies like The Gremlins. So when you discuss horror comedies, The Frighteners should be on most people's list. It's a vastly underrated film that often is forgotten about. So it's a shame, since this is such an underrated, enjoyable movie. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are all my selections. Here's a quick summary. Thanks again for watching this video. Now, please go to Carl's channel, link in the description. Watch his video with the same name. And then go to the community tab on his page and vote on who you thought had the better picks. And don't forget to leave us your picks in the comments down below on both of our channels. We both get a lot of joy in reading them. And if you haven't done already, I hope you would do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell on both of our channels. Really help me, keep me motivated to continue growing this channel. And I appreciate you taking the journey along with me. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, stay safe, stay happy. Hope you're enjoying your happy holidays. I am your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete. And remember, with great kills, there must also come great nows.